All right, the champion of Apex 2015, Kevin PPMD Nanny, sponsored by Evil Geniuses. Sup with it.
Sup, man?
Tell me about, just tell me a little, I don't know, how you feeling?
I feel great, but man, I'm also so tired.
Dude, same here. Dude, same here, man.
Like, I don't know, it's wonderful. It almost doesn't hit me like I'm just out there right now, man.
Oh my God,
it's
dude.
good. It's so good.
That's a good feeling to have. That's good. You did it, dude.
I did it.
The biggest tournament of all time.
Biggest tournament, man. Till Evo or something probably.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's
like
still growing,
it's still. I mean, still, man. That's good to have on your record, you know. When you win the biggest tournament at the time. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
So many people. I don't know how many were watching, but
we had new record for VGBootCamp, 6 digits. Peak at 116,000.
116. That's
so
awesome, dude. We broke 100K. I thought we would. So that's so,
100K.
That's so cool. Yes, everyone got to watch.
Right.
Yay.
It was dude. This top 8 was so nuts. Oh my God.
Right.
I was talking about how, like, you know, I was watching grand finals at one point, and I was like, and it felt like you and Armada didn't play in winners, and then I realized, oh, it's just because you guys played Falco Peach, and so it turned into this character like counterpick matchup. And one question that I kind of had, game 5 of the first set of grand finals, you actually went back to Marth after winning two games with Falco. And can you talk about that decision a little bit and why you stuck with Marth instead of, you know, going to
I think
Falco?
I went Falco game 4.
You did, yeah. You won game 3 and 4 with Falco.
Yeah,
and you went back to Marth.
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Long day.
Yeah, I went back to Marth because if I went Falco, then he was gonna go Peach on Dreamland, and like we all saw that like I got 3-stocked when we did it when like we played in winners. So I was like, I just need to figure it out with Marth. And like honestly, what I got from that, the data I got from that was like I was like I have to figure it out and win here, because if I can't do it here, I'm just not gonna be able to win, I think. And like because he had so many opportunities to run, I was watching how he was getting away, so I figured out like a lot of how he was playing. So it actually, sticking with Marth on that one, actually gave me a lot of information that helped in the second set.
Okay, so that's interesting, and that kind of brings up another question, which is, you know, speaking of information gathering, I noticed that the way Leffen tried to approach, you know, Fox vs Marth, and the way Armada tried to approach Fox vs Marth, those sets actually look really differently. I noticed.
Yeah, so different. That threw me off.
Yeah, I mean, like, things I noticed. I noticed Leffen was going for a lot more, you know, full jump downers, things like that, and you were using dash dance, of course, to beat that. Armada was actually playing, I don't want to say like Mango-esque, but definitely more unconventional from that standpoint. Leffen, you know, seemed a little more textbook. What's your opinion there? Like, how did you approach those matchups differently, and what do you think they did differently? And then, yeah, how did you counter that?
Yeah, I think they were both trying to do stuff right, but they just had a completely different definition of what right was. It was really interesting. Leffen is like a go-getter, even though sometimes he'll sit back and laser too, and he's not always like just running forward all the time. If you put any pressure, he just gets angsty and he just wants to go. Like, even if you let him get free reign, he just wants to go get you. Like you can feel that, like, I want to be, you know, I want to kill the gods or whatever.
Yeah,
you feel that Twitter hate.
The Twitter hate coming out of the
comments. Yeah. So I mean, you know, Leffen, he's good. So the way I guess I ended up beating him was I don't think I tried to get him to come into me too much. I just wanted to kind of stall him out, and then I would poke him. Leffen actually ended up being more grounded than Armada, which is good for Marth.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing. And then Armada was really abusing like the platforms, but in a really different way.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't going to the top. He was just getting on the side, and then I had to like hold that nair versus like shield drop mix up. And he was doing it really well. And like it took me so long, because I was just like, I was just like having a hard time thinking, and I was like, what's he doing? It's kind of weird. And then like I don't fight shield dropping much, so it's like I'm like, well, you know, I just got to figure that out.
Yeah.
And so
the short up nair, right?
Yeah. The dash short up nair. Yeah. So what I did was, that was like the mix up when you use the platform like that. That's what I kind of figured out on the Dreamland match, game 5.
Yeah.
Like how to figure out when he was going there, and like what mix ups I could kind of do to at least like make it more likely that I would hit like a running short hop fair. And if you'll notice, like towards the end of that game, I started hitting it more, and then like on the other non-Dreamland matches, I hit him, like especially the Battlefield match, I just nail him on that a ton. And then when we go back to Dreamland, I'm like, all right, I'm picking up more data from the Battlefield match. I'm getting like an idea of like what he's going for, because like Armada's like go up, then go over. He's like, you know, he's got his little set plays.
Right,
it's like, yep, and now I do this. This is the right thing. And then Leffen's like, all right, these are the correct mix-up. This is like, you have to hold these lasers, and then I'm going to do like, you know, I'm going to rock, paper, scissors you to death. Armada's like, yeah, I'm going to jump on a platform, and then, you know, I might wait a half second. So it's like a different kind of like RPS.
Yeah,
but it's like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, they both try to do the right thing, but it's real different.
Word. That makes a lot of sense, yeah. And, you know, Mewtwo King, I'm sure, comes to mind when you think of like a player who always tries to like make the right move, but his definition of right is so far different from, you know, other players. So yeah, talking to Zoo and Cactuar, because you know they're buddies of mine. Yeah. My understanding is you spent a good bit of time preparing for this tournament at Cactuar's.
That's right.
Tell me how that went.
It was actually really funny. When I was playing at Cactus's place, we played on like it was a nice like Asus monitor, and it didn't really have much lag. And so we were like, Cactus and I were like recording a little bit and just going back and watching it. But what happened was, I didn't notice how much it was affecting my gameplay. It wasn't lagging, but it was like the way like the screen refreshes or something. Cactus tried to explain it to me. I didn't really get it, but
some Cactuar stuff, yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. It's like I have a hard time like juggling and other stuff, so I was like, my confidence was actually pretty low a lot of the time coming from Cactus's place. Even though I was like figuring out a lot of what he was doing and like coming up with ways to beat it, like I was like so just like concerned. I spent like just like a few hours one night just rewatching and like writing down notes. I was like, what am I doing?
Interesting.
Because he actually used some of like the full hop drill stuff that Leffen used. Like they both just kind of came up with it on their own, I think. So it was pretty cool. So I had like some practice for like the options that Leffen was picking, which was really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, so like when we played on CRT, I felt like I'm moving again, I was comboing, and I was feeling really good. So I was like, oh, it was all like, I realized that like the day before I left, I was like, in some ways I kind of wasted the trip in training a little bit.
Right.
Because I didn't understand, so I got a bunch of footage of me like being kind of wonky.
Okay.
But then like, I was like, all right, well I actually did learn a lot of stuff and I feel pretty good. Interesting thing, when I got there, my Marth was amazing. It was better than it was today. And my Falco was terrible.
Huh.
I mean, like, Falco didn't do a whole lot here, but he was way worse when I first got to Cactus's place.
Yeah.
So then I grinded Falco a whole lot. And he was good, and I thought like I was gonna play more Falco this tournament.
Okay.
And I was doing that through bracket, but then like I was like, well, Falco's just not cutting it. It's gonna have to be a Marth tourney.
Yeah.
And Marth was good enough, and I was so happy for that.
Right. It was funny because like the way the tourney started, at least from what I saw on the stream, was you versus S2J.
Yeah.
And we started with Marth, and it was like, oh, I guess the other thing happened. You needed to go Falco.
Yeah. So I mean, Marth was looking. So actually, it's really interesting. I usually pick one when I'm feeling a certain way, Falco or Marth. So Falco, like, because he's always moving, he's always pushing buttons, and like you always got to be, you got to go.
Right. So
like I play him when I'm more like hyped up and everything. So like, it's risky because like usually I'm like playing on anxiety right now because like otherwise I'm just like really tired.
Sure.
So like that's what I had to kind of do with Falco, but I just like burnt out. So like when I was burnt out, then I was like playing slow, and like Marth works for that.
Sure, yeah.
So that's what I was going on. So like Marth was kind of rough in the beginning, and I was like, oh, I actually need to go back and do Marth like later on. Like I'm seeing like he's getting forced out more.
Yeah.
Like I saw that against Pew Pew. I'm like, my Marth actually like looked more solid than my Falco, even though I was like feeling like Marth wasn't so good coming into this. So I was like, I like started like practicing a little more with Marth, and I was like, and honestly, it would have been really different if I played Hungry Box because I went with Falco, and like the tournament could have been completely different because my Falco, like I said, was like, you know, hit or miss.
Do you do Marth buff like at all?
I can do it, but I don't have enough experience, so I'd have to be learning as I played, which would have been like pretty hard because I didn't have as much going on. But I can do it. I think it's like, I mean, Marth wins, but it's like, I mean, I wouldn't hit the pivots like Pew Pew did to kill.
Right. Yeah,
it's such a big deal. I think that was like one of the big swing factors. Like if he didn't hit those, like the set might have gone the other way.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, that was some crazy stuff.
That was huge. He only got 2, but each time they were such big kills.
Yeah.
So good stuff to him for that. Honestly, like Pew Pew got so much better.
Oh yeah, and a really hard technique too. The one from input.
Yeah, I mean it seems like it's like a lot of people like Ark who developed it's like, oh, it's easy, and it's like it's just a simple input, but it's like it.
You got to get the read of the DI right. There's a couple things. There's a couple little like variables.
Yeah, it's a little wonky, but I mean it's cool. That's that tipper sound. That's all that matters.
Oh, exactly. Like when you see it, oh my god.
Yeah, I got a few tippers. I didn't get very many tippers. I'm not a tipper guy.
That's fine.
So like I got one like on Armada and like in the beginning of like the first set and everyone was like, yeah, and I was like, probably not getting any more. Sorry guys.
Sorry guys. All right, I was wondering, it's like you versus Armada's Peach. I mean, you know, Fox is one story, of course, but the Peach, it's like every dang stock, it's like you're getting into like 180.
Yeah,
that's how it feels sometimes. You're just winning neutral, winning neutral, winning neutral. Get him in the air, you know, Hunt is landing. And does that get exhausting? Like, how does that feel? Because that's so different from all the other sets we see you play.
The Apex 2013 set where I was like learning the matchup was where I was talking about like versus HBox. That I got worn out during that. Even though I was like having fun and everything, I got worn out. So when I played, but I learned what to do over the course of time. So now when I play it, it's like I know more of what to do. So it's not that I autopilot, it's just that like it's less effort to just go and do everything. And so I understand the options better. And since like Peach is slow, I can dictate the pace of the match. So it's not that much effort. Plus, when he goes up, you actually get a lot of time to rest.
Fair enough.
So it's like I hit him up high, and like sometimes I'm not like glad he doesn't die, but I'm just like, all right, now I'm just gonna like do some like full hops and just chill out. It's like a little rest period. So it's actually kind of nice. Like that suited how I felt and like was playing pretty well. So I was happy with it.
It's cool. So that works out then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. And yeah, I mean, coming into this tournament, you know, kind of the only other thing I'm curious about, you know, how are you, you told us a little bit about how you prepare, you know, from the gameplay perspective with Cactuar, but I mean, what about like, you know, from mentality and all that stuff? How was that sort of preparation?
Oh man, that's
or is that something you want to talk about?
No, I mean that's a good question. I'll talk about that a little bit. That was hard. Like Cactus was trying a bunch of different stuff with me to try to get my mind in it. Like sometimes he was like, you know, kind of pushing me to make sure that I was like, you know, actually like trying to get myself hyped up and focused. And sometimes like, you know, I'd push back, or I'd be like, I don't want to do this, you know, or whatever. And then I had my own stuff like I've been doing for, you know, the 6.5 months since Evo. So I mean, I was building on that, and I think like this win is going to help. But preparation, I mean, honestly, it's all like. If I could simplify it, I would just say it's meditation and like acceptance training. And it's like, it sounds like really silly, but it's like you can do it like all the time. So like if you like go out in the rain, you're like, oh, it's raining, it sucks. But then like you just practice like, all right, you know, actually this is all right. It's not that bad. You know, it's gonna be a little wet, but I mean, go on, you're gonna be fine. So it's like, it's just stuff like that. Like you always get practice. And so like, it's always like mentality training like that for me.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's what I like to hear. Now I got to think about that for myself too. That
I mean, it's big, man. It helps. It helps a lot and everything.
That is big, you know.
Yeah.
I got to catch a flight in 5 hours. That's gonna be.
That's a lot of acceptance training.
But you know, that's an opportunity to grow as a person.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing how this works now.
There you go.
All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to mention? Shout-outs, etc.
Honestly, I still can't believe I did it. Like, I mean, the whole time I just can't believe it, man. Like,
wow.
I can't believe it. Like, that's the biggest thing. But I mean, shout-outs to everyone that was supporting me the whole time, even though I was like, I don't know if I can do it. You know, like, thank you so much. And thank you, EG. Thank you, HA. Thank you. You know, especially like everyone I played that was like, you know, really pushed me, especially Armada, because like, you know, I had to like really adapt. So like, shout outs to Armada for like, you know, making it like, you know, life pretty hard and fun.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And shout outs to America holding it down.
That's yeah. Had a dangerous moment there for a second.
The Swedish invasion was pretty real this tournament.
Super real, dude.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all from me. I have no idea if, you know, I guess, yeah. Thank you so much for the interview, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I'll see you again in the future, I am sure.
Oh, you are sure.
I am quite sure.
You're correct.
I'm quite sure. I mean, now that sounds ominous. Now it sounds like something's going to go wrong with my flight or something.
Oh,
so,
boy.
Oh, boy.
Acceptance training.
Yeah, acceptance training. That's right. Oh, this plane is crashing. This sucks, but could be worse.
There you go.
All right. Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll see you around, dude.
Absolutely.